This webinar will be sponsored by OD-Tug. Save the date for Kscope 16 on June 26th through 30th of 2016. It's always great education for everybody in the Oracle space. Important note, all the data used in this webinar is randomly generated. There is no real data anywhere. What we're going to be addressing here is ghost data. Ghost data that exists if you have a table, an existing table with existing indexes, and in the future you go out and you encrypt the columns that have been indexed. Does the index get encrypted? Yes, it does, but we still have to deal with ghost. All right, to start this, we're going to create a small table space to hold our index. Now, my customers table has a couple million rows in it, so I am going to grab a subset of those so things run relatively quickly. And we're going to go ahead and create the index that represents the index that already existed on a table. So a policy comes out, says we're going to encrypt social security numbers and credit card numbers. So let's go ahead and encrypt those. And we're using no salt because we have indexes on this. If there is no index on it, we would definitely salt the data. And we would assume that if we do a rebuild on the index, everything's going to be fine. Well, really not so. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and flush the buffer cache so we can write everything out. And then we are going to check this table, this data file here, to make sure everything's gone. And I'm seeing some interesting stuff there. That looks encrypted, but oh boy, what is happening here? So let's see what we got. As you can see, credit card numbers are still out there. What Oracle does when you do a rebuild, it does not overwrite this information. It just goes out and marks it free and creates your index. So, what do we need to do? First thing we're going to do is we are going to drop this index completely. And then we're going to get rid of the table space. But when getting rid of the table space, you notice I did not include the data files clause in there. We're actually going to go out and we are going to shred that data file. What shredding does is overwrites the data file several times with random data such that we know any information in there is gone. And then once we have done that, we are going to remove that data file. So that data file is gone, and now we need to recreate our table space. Table space is created, and we're going to go ahead and create the index on that again, and again we're going to flush the buffer cache. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and look at strings and see what we have out here. And as you can see, that is now encrypted. So basically what we have done is we've gone in on our existing table, we had an index on it, and in the future we had to encrypt that data. DBA goes, if I rebuild the index, we know it's going to encrypt the information. Yes, it does encrypt the information, but it does not overwrite the old information. We've checked for it, we've proved it, we found a social security number in that index. So how we fixed it was we dropped the index, we dropped the table space, and then we shredded the data file. Once we shredded it, we removed the data file, and then we went back and recreated our indexes on the encrypted columns.